What's up, space pirates? This is your captain, the effortlessly effervescent Dr. Disaster, and this is a bit of a follow-up to the video that I did the other day talking about how a Lucasfilm employee went ballistic on half of the people in the United States after the election didn't go his way.
Oh, that's too bad. We're so sorry.
People like this just can't help themselves. It's a knee-jerk reaction to freak out when things don't go their way because they have the mental discipline of freaking toddlers. So, the dude made an ass of himself. Unfortunately for him, though, this was exacerbated by the fact that Gina Carano noticed what he said.
I've made a huge mistake.
As I'm sure most of you are aware, Gina is in the process of suing Disney and Lucasfilm for firing her for simply writing a social media post that compared political divisions nowadays to 1930s Germans. Other Disney employees are allowed to write all kinds of progressive shit in their social media, but she was singled out. And with this dude on Twitter, we have a guy who works for the company literally telling half the country that he hates them. If I'm one of Gina's lawyers, I am loving every bit of this. And now, it's getting even better for Gina because we have a really high-profile employee of Disney talking shit about half of their potential customers.
Weird.
Yeah, Snow White herself, Rachel Zegler, has come out and had a little meltdown tantrum of her own about anyone who voted for Donald Trump. And you've got to think, this is such a boneheaded, horrible thing for Disney because when they don't punish Rachel for this, which they won't do that obviously, but when they don't do it, it goes to show that actually Disney doesn't give a rat's ass about preserving their image as a company. Their only interest at the end of the day is clearly pushing woke, progressive shit and talking down to anyone who doesn't agree with their elitist worldview.
How dare you, you insolent peasant! Nobody talks to me that way! Nobody! Nobody!
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to refer to it as these days. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. But alright, let's talk about what Rachel Zegler said and how this was such a stupid thing to do as a Disney employee right now while there's all this legal stuff going on with Gina Carano. Because from what I understand, they were already on fairly shaky ground with having fired Gina, citing the fact that she was getting all political on social media. There are countless examples of other Disney employees saying disparaging things about people who don't agree with wokeness. Hell, two of them, right off the top of my head, come from Lucasfilm itself, Pedro Pascal and Pablo Hidalgo. So, it seems fairly obvious that Gina Carano, who was previously slated to be getting her own Star Wars show based on her character Cara Dune. The show was going to be called Rangers of the New Republic, by the way, but it seems that she was singled out by Lucasfilm not because she was saying divisive things that could damage the brand, which is what they claimed, but it seems they fired her simply because they don't agree with her views. And this brings us to Rachel Zegler, the gal who is going to play Snow White. Somehow, the audience for that film is supposed to believe that she is going to make Gal Gadot jealous of her beauty. I just don't see it, but anyhow, Rachel has been divisive before, but this was an absolutely divisive meltdown. This is what she posted on social media. She said, "I find myself speechless in the midst of this, another 4 years of hatred, leaning us toward a world I do not want to live in. Leaning us toward a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in." Just as a side note here, she doesn't actually have a daughter. This is all just speaking in hypotheticals. But anyway, continuing on, leading us toward a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want. Leaning us towards a world that is fearful. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I am heartbroken for my friends who woke with fear this morning, and I am here with you to cry, to yell, to hug, to wax poetic on how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. I echo Ethel Cain's statement more than anything. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. She posted a ton more, but I'm not going to read all of it here. I'm just going to show you this, which was how she ended this little tirade of hers. Apparently she wrote all this while in between acts of the play that she's starring in, but she said, "Okay, that's all. Going on stage for Act 2 now, and need to get off my soapbox before I get too heated. Sending love to everyone who needs it today. May we all carry each other through the worst and hold these politicians accountable. Your Dem govs just got very important. They already were, but hey, follow your governors, hold them accountable. Local government is where we'll make real change. This is not the end ever. I will love through these 4 years as best as I can." And then she goes on to prove that. She goes on to prove all of that love that she's holding in her heart by saying, "F Donald Trump." So here's the thing. When this Snow White movie bombs, and we all know that it will, everything about it looks terrible. But when it bombs, Gina Carano will have, in my opinion, fairly ironclad proof that Disney is not interested in their bottom line and protecting the company's image. They will have demonstrated by not firing Rachel Zegler, or at the very least not going after her for damages, since the movie is already filmed. They can't fire her because the work is already done, I suppose, but they absolutely could sue her for damaging the film's prospects at the box office. But by not doing that, they are showing that they simply do not care so much about dollar bills as they do about pushing their ideology. I struggle to imagine a world where Gina won't win this thing flat out. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your mockery of Rachel Zegler and her ilk into the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.